Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's History World with none other than Goober the Traveling Bear. And we are at the Maryland Veterans Museum in Newburgh, Maryland for their exciting festival, Taste of Maryland. Now, this is on April 27th. And as you can see, we have tents galore with artisans, crafts, food, beer, and live music. Really cool event. And here's some live music now. Now, due to the amount of noise and wind, I had to strip the audio, so we're doing a dub over. And they had ice cold beer right over there. Now, we had to go find our friends Nell and Miss Connie, but first we checked out some of the wonderful food and wine, and then we found Nell, and Goober was with Nell and Miss Maggie at the Daughters of American Revolution tent. And then Goober said, "Where's Miss Connie?" She is a great historian and made a lot of videos, and there she is now. There's Miss Connie, a wonderful historian, very hard worker for the Daughters of the American Revolution. And then Goober said, "I worked up an appetite." So we went and checked out the food trucks. Now, we got there quite late in the day, so the food trucks were starting to get not too many people in line. But I was told earlier in the day they were swamped. And they had barbecue, hot Italian sausages, seafood. They even had a lobster truck there, making lobsters and also crab cake sandwiches. A wide selection of food, and Goober and I got a couple Italian sausages and also a crab cake sandwich to bring home. Wow, there was a lot of artisans too. There was people with German roasted nuts, and Goober asked me, "Boy, that must sting." He didn't quite understand, and I don't know if you'll catch that joke, but they had a lot of nice people making all kinds of crafts and jewelry. Now, if you're wondering where the Maryland Veterans Museum is, in Newburgh, Maryland, off of 301, look for the giant tower. That giant antenna is probably 300 feet high. I'll have to ask now. And then Goober had to go work over at the beer, water, soda booth. And, of course, just a little bit of beer knocks Goober out. And then Goober had to take a nap. Now, one of the things you'll see at the Maryland Veterans Museum, if you're on 301, is their line of military vehicles along the highway. So right now, this is the first truck, and I believe this is a truck that carried tools and equipment in the 70s. So I'm just doing a fast scan, and if you drive by Route 301 right near the Virginia border, you'll see these vehicles parked along the road, and it's really neat to pull in. And here we have one of the trailers, and I believe this one is from the late 50s, and as you can see, it's got the large tires and hook right up to the back of a Jeep or a truck. Now we have one of those, I think this is a mid-80s support vehicle that was used on base, if I remember right. And then what is really cool is this Vietnam-era Piper Cub. Now, according to all the information here, this one, there was only a couple that were ever armed. And this one has the 2 rockets on one wing, and there's the rockets. And it also carried a machine gun out of the one side window, and it was called the Little Puff. And the placard here is really neat with Charles E. Morrison Jr., the pilot. And they say he says he was the best pilot in Vietnam. And he flew this thing on many missions. And it's a lot of cool information on this placard. And I hope you'll take time to visit the Maryland Veterans Museum and visit these cool vehicles. Goober thinks his Piper Cub is just really cool. All right, as we kept walking, the wind was extremely high and we were strong. We were worried that it was going to take that plane right off the ground. Well, there are some more cool things to see along this roadside, and there it is. We have some more trucks and vehicles coming up. This one here, I think, is from the 80s, and it was used at a military base to transport supplies around. And here we have another trailer. This is a smaller size with a camo canvas top. And all of these have signage that you can read and learn about. This vehicle, I think, is really cool. This is some kind of recovery vehicle. So it help like a wrecker to pull damaged vehicles out of the way. It has a winch, a crane, a lot of machinery in the back. I think a welder and just a lot of stuff. A compressor, I believe. So that would be a maintenance vehicle or a vehicle to pull damaged vehicles out. And last but not least, we really like this gun here. This is a naval gun, we're pretty sure. World War I or Spanish-American War. Maybe one of my viewers would know better. But we think it's really neat along with the mount. And at the Virginia Museum of Military History in Newport News, they have several of these also. Well, this is going to end this video. I hope you'll visit the Maryland Veterans Museum. And Goober says please visit too. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and thank you for watching. Oh, I forgot. If you're looking for the museum, just look for the giant antenna. You can't miss it.